Hello, beautiful friends. I'm Sherilyn, the Happy Stylist, and we're on segment 3 of Fashion Meets Fantasy Football. And we continue on with our special guest, fantasy football expert, my husband, Chris. So thanks for coming again to the show and helping educate us. And if you are new to my show, and you'll always get fashion tips from me, but this time we're doing football. So go run and get your husband, go run and get your boyfriend, go run and get your significant other, because we're talking shop here.
That's right.
Nitty gritty.
And once again, you oversold me a little bit, but I'm
Not
trying to live
he's
up
good.
to expectations.
He's really good. Yeah, he's good.
Right.
So today we're going to talk about breakout players.
Breakout players,
Okay.
right? Mm-hmm. So a breakout player is just a player that wasn't expected to do as well as they're doing in fantasy, and so they have a big week, or they begin to produce a lot of fantasy points, and those are the ones. Every year you have breakout players, and you have to sort of foresee that that's going to happen and look for the breakout players.
And
Otherwise,
how do you foresee someone being better than expected?
Well, you need to know the players on the teams, which that takes a little bit of homework, but if you know the up and coming players that have the potential, and then not all of them break out, but you have to be ready so that you can go to the pool and grab them if they're start to break out, or you can draft them. I do that during the draft. I'll draft potential sleeper or breakout players, maybe 2 or 3 toward the end of the draft. Hold them on my bench as long as I can hold them. However, if some other players are starting to make moves, I may throw them into the pool and grab somebody off the waiver pool. But it's a constant, as we talked about earlier. I always churn the bottom part of my team in and out of the waiver pool.
When you say bottom of it, you mean on your bench?
Like my bench players, maybe 3 of them. I'll run them in and out of the pool, trying to find the ones that could be breaking out, because you just don't want to be late. Sometimes it's okay to be early to the dance, but you don't want to be late. And I take a chance because, as we've talked about before, I did rotate Nick Chubb into the pool, thinking I could go back and get him. And I was taking shots at other players, and I lost him last year doing that. So, yes.
Well, okay. So, but this is the deal. Like me, I wouldn't know a breakout player unless somebody gave me some tips. But
if you don't have time to do all the homework, which is where you need your helplines, which Sherilyn has a couple guys that she can go to, her go-to guys. And ladies, just find a couple guys if you're
It could be girls. There's some amazing girls that know everything about the sport.
Yeah, there are some ladies that really know it. We do have, by the way, in our league, we have on both leagues that I manage, we do have two to three female fantasy football
that are really good
team managers that are very good. They know what they're doing.
Christy, Felicia, if you're watching, you guys are amazing. Hats off to you.
So no, I'm not trying to categorize. I'm just I'm referencing Sherilyn and getting her advice more than anybody else.
Generally, it's the guys at my office that know the game and follow it and know a lot of the stuff that you know, not as much, but I don't know.
And she also told me, she prepped me and said, in my comments, aim your comments toward the female audience that doesn't know a lot about football and how they can start playing fantasy football. So I'm trying to do it.
We're learning the game. We're learning the game. Yes, thank you. I appreciate you
towards those of you that are learning. Those of you that already know what's going on, you can take what I'm saying with a grain of salt.
But you're still
so breakout players. So what I tend to look at, wide receivers. I'm looking at wide receivers going into their 3rd year. Sometimes they break out sort of mid to tail end of their 2nd year, but I'm looking at number 1 draft picks, for example, and they're going into their 3rd year. They're starting to get enough experience where they can break out in good passing offenses, good quarterbacks. So that's your wide receiver breakouts. Some that come to mind are Mike Williams this year, San Diego Chargers, Chris Godwin over Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm trying to think of
we did mention those last show, but I know there's some other people that you wanted to talk about.
Curtis Samuel, for example, Carolina Panthers. Here's a veteran, Cole Beasley. He's switched teams. You got to pay attention to who switched teams. Cole Beasley is still hard to cover slot receiver, small guy, doesn't score a lot of touchdowns, but I've been watching the Buffalo Bills in their preseason. Josh Allen goes to Cole Beasley quite a bit. So if you're in a PPR league, or in our case, and that is a point per reception, so if you have a lot of catches, the receiver catches the ball a lot, they can rack up some points. So he might be a breakout player. We just have to see what happens during the regular season, but during the preseason, the quarterback was going to him a lot, just one time after the other. So there's a player you can look at. Quarterbacks that I've jotted down some notes. I think Lamar Jackson with the Ravens could be a breakout quarterback. They have a unique offense where he runs a lot, and quarterbacks that run are premium.
They make more points for you, right?
He needs to upgrade his passing skills a little bit, but he may be a quarterback that is constantly in the top 5 or 10, so he could be a breakout quarterback. Running backs, Matt Breida is in an offense where, again, you look at the offenses, he's in a Mike Shanahan offense where they use his skill set quite a bit, so Matt Breida could be a breakout if he stays healthy. He does real well when given the opportunity, and he's healthy. Who else do I have written down?
What about Mitch Trubisky? Is that his name?
Mitch Trubisky.
He's a
yeah,
quarterback,
he could.
right?
He's going into his 3rd year, I think, here, and he could be a breakout quarterback. So keep your eye on him. Baker Mayfield.
I got him.
I grabbed him a little early last year. I had him on my team. He was just coming around, but
don't tap your foot because it's gonna make tap.
If you hear that tap sound, that's
it's his
me
foot.
tapping
It's
my
not
foot.
your audio. All the things you have to think about when
Hey,
you're
I could
recording a
have
show.
a piece of chewing gum and be smacking my lips, so we're not doing that. So
Well, we might on the next show. Who knows?
Yeah.
It'd be crazy.
Dak Prescott this year, yeah, he could be breakout. Oh, here's another wide receiver, Michael Gallup, Dallas Cowboys. Keep your eye on him.
Oh,
Might have a decent season. I'm not saying these are number 1 wide receivers. These could be like wide receiver 2, breakout type wide receivers. So anyway, so those are some of the break. The other thing I look for, players that are in their contract year. I sometimes shy away from players that just signed their big fat contract because once they get the money, they don't seem to play as hard. So there's a little bit of a red flag on your players.
so you're saying once they get the money, they don't produce the honey?
Once they get the money, they don't produce the honey sometimes. And on the other hand, if the player's in a contract year, and what I mean by that is they will be signing a new contract at the end of the year. They're going to up their game to get as much money as they
That makes
can on the
sense.
contract. So they're
Don't want to show them where the money
they're
is.
focused in, so to speak. So, and there's a history of players that have signed for big money. Here's an example. Michael Thomas just signed a huge contract, New Orleans Saints. We'll have to see how, what kind of effort he puts out. But he is a great receiver and in a good passing offense. But you never know. Maybe he goes soft because he's got his money and doesn't want to risk injury or whatever. So you got to keep an eye on that as well.
Okay, I know we talked about kickers at one of the other shows, but I do want to talk about the importance of kickers because they could make or break whether you win or lose.
Depends on the league. We are in a league where kickers,
In our league, anyway.
yeah, our kickers can score anywhere from usually 12 to, good kicker, 12 to high teens on their point total. And yeah, you want to, again, kickers, you want an offense that's average or above average, but yet you may even want an offense that is not I would say, yeah, just go for a top offense. But you can have a kicker in a sort of middle of the pack offense if their defense is good. So the middle of the pack offense gets down there, but they don't always score, and their defense puts them in good field position most of the game. So that kicker can do well as well. So take the Ravens, Justin Tucker. They don't have a prolific offense, but the Ravens always had good defense, and Justin Tucker's always produced. So there's an example of that.
Who do you think the top kickers are this year? We
I
did
always
talk
like,
about it a little
again, I like Greg Zuerlein because of his distance and accuracy, and you get bonus points for any field goals over 50 yards. So
And we
he's
talked
always a
about him
target for
last
me.
show, but if you're just tuning in, we want to
Yeah.
cover a little bit more extensively Harrison
Harrison
Butker.
Butker, because they Chiefs. That's the other thing. Look for a good offense with an average or below average defense, because then the offense is going to have to, in order to win, they just have to put up a lot of points, and that's going to benefit your kicker. So if you're looking at kickers, maybe you look for great offenses with average or below average defenses, and the kicker will always produce a lot of points because the offense is going to have pedal to the metal the whole game, try to win their games by outscoring their opponents.
Okay, I'm trying to
So
test my memory, so don't laugh if I give the wrong position into
yeah.
the wrong player, the player into the wrong position. Will Lutz, is he a kicker or was
He's
he
a
a tight
kicker.
end? Okay.
He's a
Oh,
kicker.
hey, I remembered.
Yeah, we got a kicker. New Orleans Saints. Again, Lutz is in a high-powered offense.
I
So,
have him on one of my
and
teams.
New Orleans defense is of course, going to be better this year. They've got a lot of young players that are starting to mature over there, and they've drafted for defense the last 3 years. So, but yeah, Lutz in New Orleans isn't a bad choice either.
Okay, I have a question for you. Who do you think, in your opinion, is maybe a brand new player that just was drafted from college, right out of college? Is there any this year?
Well, there's a lot of number one.
Okay,
draft
this
picks
is my
year.
question. Do you think there's one that's going to totally be everything that they think he is? I know it doesn't always happen. A lot of times
No.
They
No.
don't produce because they're getting used to from
I'm
college
glad,
to
sort of
professional.
glad you brought that up. I normally don't. In the NFL, it's just a different game. I normally stay away from rookies of any position because it just takes them 2 to 3 years to really learn the NFL game and
It's
get used to the
different than
speed.
college. A
Very
lot
different than college. A running back can adjust a little quicker than the other positions, but even running backs, there's a learning curve. They have to learn how to pass block and pick up blitzes. So a lot of times they're not thrown right into the fire, right off the bat. But if you're going to go with a rookie or a draft pick from, where they've been drafted this year and they're a rookie, your best chance is a running back, probably, or you
Okay.
can take a quarterback that was drafted and they're going to throw him in there anyway, and he's on a bad team, and they're going to pass the
need
ball
help,
like
so they're
crazy,
gonna try.
or he's
Yeah.
a scrambling type quarterback. Sometimes you can get away with a rookie quarterback in that scenario.
Okay. Is there anybody, I haven't been paying attention,
Mm-hmm.
is there anybody that people are hyping this year that is a rookie?
So they think David Montgomery with the Chicago Bears he's rookie. Again, you're taking a chance with a rookie, but they're pretty high on him, and you have to see who the backups are. They don't really have a lot of options in Chicago. So
Is he a wide receiver or
he's
running
a
back? I don't know.
running back.
Oh, running back.
They've got Tariq Cohen, and they've got Mike Davis backing him up. Mike Davis is a decent running back, but they're going to go with David Montgomery. And again, you have to see with running backs, can they catch the ball out of the backfield, and are they the goal line back? In other words, when the offense gets close to the goal line, red zone touchdowns, is this the back they're going to use to try to run it in? And he is a goal line back and can catch the ball out of the backfield, but he is a rookie, so temper your expectations. But I have him on maybe one or two of my teams.
Just take a shot, right?
Yep.
See what happens.
Take a
But
shot.
it could take
The
him
other
a while
thing
to get in the
on
groove,
running
too.
backs is look for a team that's run oriented. Seattle is run first type of team, so you're looking at their running backs. They've got Chris Carson and Rashard Penny.
Overshown.
So both of them will have plenty of carries in that offense.
Penny for your
Another-
thoughts.
Speaking of Seattle, I think Tyler Lockett could be a breakout receiver in our leagues, only because he also returns punts, and we get points for punt returns. He's also, DK Metcalf's hurt over there, so he's going to have a lot of targets when they do pass, and they may have to start putting the ball up if people shut down their run. So
A lot of
I'm
factors.
taking a shot on Tyler Lockett this year to see if he can't produce. He's sort of a smaller guy. I like my wide receivers, I like them a little taller, 6'2", 6'4". Tyler Lockett's like 5'10". So
But you never know.
smaller receivers.
Great things come in small
That's right.
packages because
And
I'm
the only
small.
reason I go for the tall guys is they're gonna be end zone guys. So like on deep passes, the quarterback's more likely to just throw it up, grab the
But
ball.
he could have jump.
And red zone,
could
they're
have
also
jump.
taller targets.
Who's the guy on the Packers that used to be able to jump really high?
You got me on that one.
Okay, we'll have to remember that one. You know, they call
Is there a
him.
Packer
They
that
call
jumped
him.
really high?
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe not.
Okay. All right. Are you talking about the NBA or football?
No, I'm talking football. They even did some kind of thing on. I thought it was on ESPN or something where he jumped over some mattresses.
Hey, you
or
might
something.
even Think about running backs that jump. You know,
never know.
you know, Ezekiel Elliott, he like jumps over people and stuff.
Yeah, they could be like gymnasts and
Yeah,
ballet.
Le'Veon
and
Bell, he likes to
okay.
hurdle people every now and then. So you
Ex-track stars,
just
ex-ballet.
never know.
ballet.
Get their
dancers.
40. What is it? Their vertical. Get their vertical statistics if they've got a 42-inch.
So we can come back on and share like our ups and downs and our
That's right.
maybe our surprises or
And we're only going to
ideas.
share the players that I mentioned that are doing well. We won't share our failures. You know, I'm just not going to
we
do
will.
that. But
we will. I will. You can just. Okay, so on my show we always do a Fabumazing tip, and this is not for you this time. Okay.
Oh,
So no, the
boo.
Fabumazing tip, really quickly. Okay, if you have dark circles under your eyes that are just happen to be genetic, like mine, I have Italian in my lineage. So one of the things, of course, is to get a good under eye concealer, and I really like ColourPop. They have a great under eye concealer, but this is another trick. So this is a Lorac Pro eye palette, and there is a color in here that is it's a matte, like a light pink right here, and it's pink, I think. So what we're gonna do is take that light pink, and I have it actually on my eye, but what you want to do is it's on my eye, but you also want to go in the corner where the dark spots are on the side and just bring it a little bit underneath your eye. Don't do it underneath the whole eye, but where the darkest spot is right here, because pink counteracts the green and the purplish color just a little, and the rest you'll use your concealer on, but it brightens up the inside corners of your eyes. I know a lot of you have used like a sparkly white. Well, this matte pink is great, so just kind of gets rid of all that dark shadow so your eyes look better, younger, and more beautiful and bigger, because I need bigger eyes. So there we go.
So
All
what are the-
illusion
you
without
need
the
to-
plastic surgeon.
That's right. You need to get on here and do some guy tips sometime, right?
We did. Remember, don't let the gray hairs be in your eyebrows and pluck them
Yeah,
out.
okay, pluck those. And nose hairs, right? You get
Nose
yeah.
hairs. Oh,
You don't.
nose,
Okay, guys. You
ears
don't
hairs
want
either.
nose hairs starting to go
ear
down
hairs.
there, or the ear.
Not
hairs,
attractive.
back hair.
No,
Back
not
of the neck
attractive.
hair. Keep
Not
that trimmed up.
attractive.
And I'm not bald.
No,
I've
he's
got
got
my
great
cap
hair.
on, but I've got
Great hair.
still
You're
full,
very blessed to have
still
such a
full
head full of hair.
All right. And if you can use what? If somebody's bald, what do? Can they just?
Draw their hair on.
Is there any spray-on hair products? No?
Not that I know
Nothing
of.
like that. Okay.
Oh, just embrace the baldness. You know, smooth is sexy now. Smoothie heads are sexy.
Right.
So thanks for tuning in. Again, remember our motto is learn, laugh, we laugh lots. Live younger and be the best you that you can be. You are beautiful, and come back and learn some more fantasy meets fantasy football, fashion meets fantasy football on our segments that are to come with my husband Chris, because I'm going to bring him back on because
That's
he
right.
knows so much more than I do.
Free tips for $1. Come on.
I don't have $1. Maybe if we get some sponsors on the show, or ESPN calls us and says, hey, you guys got a great show. Love the husband-wife duo and banter. She knows nothing. He knows everything. It's so funny. We can laugh at him. I don't mind. I'll laugh all the way to the bank.
There you go.
I know nothing. I'm learning. And you can learn with me. So you would never feel singled out or embarrassed. Well, thanks for joining in, and have a happy day.